Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Jeanette Biro here. I'm a medium and a channeler. And welcome to your weekday daily card reading where we dive in, see what's in store in the cards with a message from Spirit. Now, I got to tell you guys, this week, I'm going to be away this week again, but I'm hoping to have some access to Wi-Fi. I'm going to be on the island in the trees, in the forests, near the waterfalls, near the ocean. I'm embracing all of that beauty and divine energy. So I'm hoping to be able to do some of the card readings there, but what might happen is I may miss a day or so depending on what kind of service we have. So just want to give you guys that heads up. I'm going to do my best, but we're going to start today sort of like we did last time I was away. I'm going to do a little bit of an extra reading. We'll see what we get. They're telling me that these cards will be fine. I was just thinking, oh, I should get my other deck, but they're saying these cards will be fine. So we're going to see what's in store for the week. And then hopefully I can bring in some extra messages throughout the week for you guys. So let's see what we have while I do a shuffle here. If you're joining me for the first time, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate it. I do want to say when I do my mediumship work, my channeling, any of that, I just go straight to Spirit. I don't use cards in that stuff, but I love and I value oracle cards, tarot cards as a tool to connect with Spirit as well, to gain extra insights, gain clarity. So if you're wanting to develop that communication with them, but you're struggling to just open that doorway, cards are a beautiful way to do that. It's a tangible 3D way to receive messages from Spirit. So that's why I do these general card readings for you guys, for us all, so we can share in some messages. So let's see what we have in store for this week. I'm so curious. Last week we had that massively powerful full moon. I'm sure you guys felt it. I sure did for a couple days after. It just had me buzzing, sometimes uncomfortably buzzing, but let's see what's in store for this week here. One more shuffle. Light beings, they're telling me light beings. They're telling me there's an energy of higher consciousness coming through for each of us from the higher realms, from the stars, star beings, star people, different worlds far beyond our world. Higher consciousness coming in that way. Interesting. No, I'm ready, they say. Okay, they're really chatty today. Here we go, following their lead. Holy smokes, you guys. Wow, this is amazing. I'll pull a few clarifiers after, but I want to tell you something about this deck. So there are different aspects to this deck. We have cards that look like this, which are, there's some that are guardian cards. This is like an insight card. And then there's also these style of cards within the same deck. So we have differences. The reason why I'm saying that is the pull that we have are all these ones. These are like action cards. These are what you can do, what you are doing, not just insights you're receiving, but these are action cards in the way that I interpret it. And so that means there's a lot of action potential for you specifically in your kind of 3D embodiment of this world. So the first one that we have for this week is the snake card. Now, what I want to say about the snake card and snake symbolism, I find snake symbolism to be really beautiful. It has been misrepresented and misinterpreted over the centuries, over the eons, to mean something negative, to be connected to hell, Lucifer, evil, devil, any kind of that sort of thing. This is a very beautiful symbolic animal because, first of all, it's the shedding of skin, the releasing of old. We talked about this last week of burning away, allowing the stuff to burn away the things we do not need. So there's a releasing of an old skin, and the moon brought that through too. The buck moon really brought this like line in the sand where you are moving forward. You're not moving backward. You're not being tied down from what's behind you. We're propelling forward. So for some of you, you may feel this in further shedding of the skin, allow things to be released. But also the second symbolism that's beautiful about the snake is serpentine knowledge. There's serpentine wisdom and knowledge that runs through the earth, through our bodies. It can be connected into the Kundalini, but the serpent really brought knowledge, right? The teasing of bite the apple in the Garden of Eden, the apple was an apple of knowledge. It has been warped in how it's been interpreted. And so the serpent energy is like shed the skins that have been holding you constricted and allow yourself the freedom to explore, embody, and understand the knowledge that is available. And this is cool. This is where Spirit's saying this higher realms, these higher light beings are coming in to bring in that knowledge. So how do we receive that knowledge? Through random insights, intuitive insights that come to you, dream state, even in meditation. If you are a meditator, you can tune into that energy and receive those insights through that as well. But for those of you that struggle meditating in the traditional way, you may be on a bike ride, you may be painting, you may be doing something, washing dishes, anything that's kind of monotonous that keeps the physical body busy, allows space for the right brain to open and for spirit to come through with insights. So that's where that higher realm is coming in with insights for you. And as those insights come in, anytime you're confronted with something you can let go and leave behind so you can more fully embody where you're going, do so. That's the beauty of the snake symbolism. I love it. So it is followed by these two cards, which I kind of want to bring them together. So we have the rabbit symbolism and the bee symbolism. These are very fruitful symbols. Now, what's interesting too is Spirit was telling me that this week we have, so interesting, they were telling me on the weekend that this week we have big animal symbolisms coming in. And so I find that interesting because we're seeing this on the card. Look, we have 3 right here: snake, bee, and rabbit. So very cool. The rabbit is about fertility and abundance. And this card specifically represents springtime, and that's more the planting of seeds. What did you plant in the spring that is now coming to fruition this summer? And the bumblebee represents that fruitful abundance, the busyness of the gathering of your abundance. Basically, what is your garden growing in a personal sense of self? And so, like I was saying before, these are physical 3D things in your sense of self. So that means your mental sense of self, but also your physical sense of self. What have you noticed has changed in you physically since the spring? Maybe you've gotten stronger. Maybe you've gotten healthier. Maybe you've gotten more clear in how you feel about yourself. Maybe you have let go of some really significant things and you're standing in your power in that superhero pose we've talked about, right? It's notice these things, notice them for you, and further become them this week, because we have a lot of movement. And we had the movement card on Friday, and we're still in that energy of movement. So in that energy of movement too, this arrow card talks about surround yourself with protective energies. And last night, Spirit gave me this card, or a version of this card, a different one, but they said, be cautious of the energies around you. There's a lot of intense energy in the collective right now that is filtering through. Don't take it on. If something triggers you and you look into your trigger and there's nothing there for you to do, let it go. That's a past thing that no longer applies. So be cautious of what your energy is telling you, and really be not so much cautious of what your energy is telling you, be like open to what your energy is telling you. Cautious about energies that make you feel uncomfortable. Ask why, get curious, get to know it better so you know what kind of boundaries you're comfortable with. Now, the other thing this arrow card really represents to me is that movement forward. And we talked about this in the moon when I was talking about the moon, is it's wanting us to let go and shed those skins of anything that's holding us back from being propelled forward. And I mentioned we are being propelled forward. And that is so similar to this arrow. When you pull the arrow back in the bow, it is being propelled, launched forward. If there's anything holding that arrow back, it's going to just kind of dive right down instead of going where it can go, that unlimited potential. So this also connects into movement. So I love how this is bringing it all together with movement, abundance, noticing how much you've grown, noticing how much you've changed, where you can add more to that and how you want to. And the way to really know what that is connecting to this card, which is the Medicine Mother. And this says, honor your inner knowing. And what have we been talking about? We've been talking about know yourself, know thyself, tune into your body, tune into your intuitions, because that is where you're going to get the safety, stability of messages. No matter what spirit tells you, no matter what any spirit, environment, energy, person tells you, you need to take that information and register it within your body and see how the frequency of that information feels for you. Does it vibrate with you in harmony, or does it cause a disharmony? If it causes a disharmony, where is that disharmony? What do you not like about it? What do you need to shift or look at differently? Or where do you need a boundary? Where do you need to say no, not for me? Or where do you need to push yourself and say, yes, this is for me? This is knowing that. This is being the energy of the divine feminine, the protectiveness of the divine mother, the knowing of that feminine aspect of self. I'm not saying women over men. I'm talking the divine feminine aspect of self that tunes into the feel nature. That is what you need to embody to move through all of these energies. This abundance, this growth, this shift, this change is knowing and honoring that inner knowing of yours. Okay, so that's a main message, but I do want to pull one or two more and see if they have any other pieces of insight here. Hold on. All right, there's the two more that jumped out. Holy, beautiful. Okay, so very interesting. We have the arrow, and then here we have a broken arrow. This is really neat, you guys. So broken arrow is embrace the energy of peace. So this is like with this direction from this card, the non-broken arrow, the direction and the movement of where you want to go. Any of the arrows that are pointed in a direction you do not wish to go, break them. Break it in half. It's not needed. Don't even have them up and ready to go. Break it. Break the bonds of the directions you don't wish to go. Allow that to fall away and embrace then the energy of peace. It's so important. And so for some of these arrows of directions you want to go might not be your direction, but it might be somebody else's direction. And just because, you both are metaphorically, holding the arrow cocked at the target, it doesn't mean you have to be shooting at the same target. It's okay for it to be different. And so that's where this card comes in the Peacekeeper card. This is White Buffalo Woman. And it says, let go of the need to be right. What is right for you is not necessarily right for another. So embrace the energy of peace. Focus on where your arrow is going specifically. That's the one that matters. If somebody else is shooting in a different direction, that is okay, because what they're doing is they're honoring their medicine mother. Honor your medicine mother. These two go really beautifully together because it's acknowledging that you can have two people have different ideas, but still support each other in their desire to know themselves through this perspective that they're carrying. So there's a lot of energy of peace and detaching from kind of the fight energy, the movement, the aggressiveness, and really stepping into that sense of self where no matter what's going on around you, you know that you are okay and you can move forward and you can find that place of peace. Focus on your harvest, focus on your garden, and focus what brings you purpose. So I love that. What a great, powerful message. Lots of action in there. Lots of support, lots of conscious choice coming to you this week. So definitely stand in your truth, see what resonates for you. And I will do my very best to post a couple more card readings while I'm away. I'm going to bring the same deck. So we'll be using the same deck. It is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle card by Kyle Gray. It's just beautiful. So beautiful. So I'll leave that with you guys. Do check out the podcast for today too. It's a very dear and heavy story for me to tell, but with a really beautiful ending. So I think I do fumble in my emotions a little bit towards the end of it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful story of omens and messages that come through animals. And so it really supports this whole idea, oops, not that one, of what Spirit is talking about with animal symbolisms. So it's all tied together. It all comes together. It's beautiful. So you guys have a beautiful day. Check out the podcast. Also, if you're wanting to dive in deeper to your own consciousness, exploring your path, finding you. There are many modalities to do that. There isn't just one way. So check out avalonspirit.com, the personal journey guides there. We have a beautiful array of offerings for you to find your true self, deepen your journey and all of that. So check that out. And I will see you guys as soon as I'm able, might be tomorrow or might be a couple days from now. Much love to you, everyone. I'll see you later.